Hi, folks. We have finally made it to the top 10 games of all time in my collection. Even gave you a different viewpoint here for a reason. You're probably adding, what games did Matt not mention? You're going to see a few of them right now, but let's go ahead and name one that's just amazing. It is right there, Samur. I remember playing this game and thinking, this has got to be a top 10 game. And as I went throughout the year, and every time I play it, I just love it more and more. It is a top 10 game. If you love How to Train Your Dragon, this is the game. The artwork is, the cover is terrible. The cover is terrible. The name is terrible. I hate that because no one wants to get it because it looks like a bird or something. But the dragon art in here is just amazing. It's an incredible looking game. And you're basically trying to get dragons. You're playing these tiles that are worker placement spots that will go away because one of the actions is to recall all your workers. And if you do that, that tile goes away. And X amount of tiles going away triggers the end of the game. So the game ends, it can end fairly quickly. But there are so many tiles, especially if you get the expansion. I do think you need the expansion too. There are so many tiles. The game will always be different. The worker placement spots will always be different. Your strategies will always be different. One thing that bothers me is that some of them are wooden bits. There's then cardboard, and then there's acrylic player tokens. I don't understand that. Why everything's different resources. Like they went to some resource shop and got everything that was in the bargain bin and just mixed it together for an awesome game. The expansion introduces wizards where you can cast spells to move up a line to get bonuses. It also introduces rogues, which come with a special ability, which can help you at times. And then I think Board Game Geek sells it. I don't know, but there used to be like a little promo pack you could buy of stuff. And I bought all that too. I love everything about this game. It's easy to teach and people really get into it. And they love it. And making sure you get the right tiles or maybe going blind and taking a risk and getting another tile. Man, and then your dragons. When you have dragons fully powered up, they can give you extra actions in the game and free actions in the game to really increase points or your ability to score. Folks, the base game is like $20 or cheaper. And I think the expansion may cost $25. I don't know, but track them both down. Get them. They're just excellent. I mean, every I'm going to say that about every game right now because right now we're in the top 10. But honestly, this game has just come a long way being in my collection for as many years as it had. Just going to give you the, it started off 4 years ago at 84. Then, 3 years ago, 84. Then 2 years ago, 47. Last year was number 18. So it moves up another, it moved up 10 spots. Not 8. I had it wrong. So it moved up another 10 spots, I think. No, 18. It would have been 8. Never mind. To get to number 10. So yeah, that's why this game just continues to impress. The more I play, the more I love it. So there it is. Number 10, Shimmer. I don't like that name either. Okay, number 9 has been in my collection for quite some time too. It actually came out with a reprint, which I have, but I'm probably going to get rid of. It is Marco Polo, Voyages of Marco Polo. You can see it up there. Marco Polo 2. I'll be honest, I probably should have given that away in a trade recently, now that I think about it. With the Marco Polo game, I like the Voyages of Marco Polo. I like the first one better. I never even played 2 at all this year. In the past, I played it here and there, but I haven't played it at all. I like playing the original game with the expansion. I think it's so much fun. We play the Secret Passages little expansion pack. I love that too. I love the I can't remember what it's called, Venice expansion. I don't know. I don't care. Either way, it's the one with the boats. But it's just a way to get rid of some more of your houses because it's hard to build houses across the way. But I love this dice placement game. The wooden dice are really nice. The strategies, because you want to play first on certain areas because if you play on top of someone, you're going to have to pay money for that. Everything costs precious money and precious camels that you need, but you're trying to complete contracts the whole time. You can really get some bonus actions going, get some extra resources here and there that can maybe completes another contract too, or maybe grants you another contract and you just keep it going. I love it. I love this game. We have played it so many times. It has bounced. This is not its first time in my top 10. I think it's been in my top 10 a few years ago. So it's kind of always been. Let me make sure. Let me give the history of all of these now. Yeah, so this one started off at 23, then it went up to 8. That's when it was last time it was there. Then it's hit around 12, 23, 14. It's kind of hit around then. And now it's back up in the top 10 again at number 9. So, I mean, it's just always going to be a solid game for me. Again, Marco Polo 2 is great. If that's the only one you can find, go ahead and get it. And I have nothing really against Marco Polo 2, but I just don't need it. I don't need it. And I should have thought about that when I made my last trade. But anyway, there it is, number 9, Voyages of Marco Polo. At number 8 is a game I've had in my collection for years, and I think it is always, it's always been a top 10 game. Folks, you can't go wrong with Viticulture. Classic. I will always play with the Tuscany expansion. I have the Moors cards in there, Moors expansion cards in there too. I did not care for Viticulture World. It came out this year, the co-op version. Not impressed. Was interested when I saw it out. And then when I looked, I was like, oh, this game isn't really that interesting. So I didn't get Viticulture World. But Viticulture, the main game, does not get boring for me. I did Meeple Source, I think, they have some kind of agreement with Stonemaier Games, and for a very short time, they reprinted the Arbor-Culture expansion that was in the original version of the game. I got it, and it's fine. I've been playing, of course, I play this game all the time. So one half of it, you're trying to keep your workers happy. You're also paying wine, apples, and some other resource to keep them happy or to get victory points with. And then on the other side, probably a little bit more thematic, you are selling cheese. You're giving away cheese with wine for extra victory points. So you're trying to age cheese at the right age to give it off and pair it with this wine for more victory points. And then to do that, you have to raise cattle. Everything ties in. You can't play both modules together because they're both vastly different. But I've enjoyed this game. I've enjoyed Viticulture as a whole. I feel calm playing Viticulture. I feel at home. It's like, Brer Rabbit in the Briar Patch, man. I just feel like just safe and feel like laughing all the time. That's my happy place is Viticulture. I don't even drink wine, but this game is so smooth and there's so many different buildings and so many different actions you can take in the game that you don't even have to. One time I won without selling any wine. Someone told me it could be done. I read the strategy and tried it out. Luckily, was able to get away with it once. It's hard to get away with once someone sees you do it, but it's so much fun. And again, do not buy this without Tuscany. You gotta play with Tuscany. It must be with Tuscany every time. Viticulture is perfect. Number 7 is Empires: Age of Discovery, also called Galactic Rebellion. I have both copies, but this year I've only played Empires: Age of Discoveries. Empires: Age of Discoveries, its very first year was number 36 on my list, and for the past 6 years, it has always been in my top 10 ever since. And we have played the dog out of this one. The only thing is I never played Galactic Rebellion this year. Usually I play it once or twice. It is a reskin of the game with a futuristic design. There are some differences. The end game is very, very different. It's crazy, but I enjoyed it. And then we have to go to war at the end, which is kind of wild. And then the other thing I love that Empires doesn't have is they have this space council, and you can decide laws. If you have a majority there, you can decide laws that help you and hurt other players. I love that too. The thing I don't like about Galactic Rebellion, I'm holding on to it right now, but I hate the look of it. The artwork is really, really crappy, and it's just kind of lazy. It's looking like they with the pieces and the gameplay, they put a lot of heart in there. But when they said, "Can we hire an artist?" and they said, "No, just pull things off of Windows 95 and just paste it on there. Like have some high school, not a college student. We can't pay college students. Give a high school student $5 to design this game for you. I mean, to design the look of the game. It's such an ugly game, and I hate that because the strategy's there and the pieces are there. But it isn't the prettiest game to look at. But like I said, I like it because it's a change of pace from Age of Empires, which I play all the time. I played both maps over and over again. I wish they'd bring out a new map for this game too, because I love it so much. But definitely worker placement, tons of strategies. It's area control too is how you get the most points, and people seem to forget that a lot. People make those quick points discovering these new lands, and then forget you must inhabit and have the majority. And I always end up winning big time not because of in-game points or in-game tiles or whatnot, which can give you some points in the game, but I just end up getting that majority because they don't realize how important getting that majority is. But Empire's Age of Discovery, solid game, still for sale. I think Eagle Griffin Games still sells it, and all the holidays they slash the price of everything, so maybe you get it for a good price. But either way, love it. Always a top 10 game. The next one on my list is, I don't know what I pressed there. There we go. Next one on my list is Queen Games for the last time. The best Queen game. You can see it over here right now. Fresco. Fresco has not been a top 10 game in a very long time. Only once. The first year I got it was number 8. And it's then been a top 20 game ever since. 17 for 2 years, 11 for the past 2 years. It's been on the outside looking in, and finally just catapulted in there. And I can't really say why. I always loved this game, and I played with all the expansion. Now, to be honest, it may have gone even higher. My buddy Nick, I keep talking about him. This is another one of the games that we had to nix because he couldn't stay as long. But we both love Fresco. We played with all the expansions except for the newer ones. Those weren't out back in the day, and I just fell in love with the game. And I played this one a whole lot. I played the base game for the last time, I think, this year, meaning I'm always going to include expansions from here on out. Because we tried base game once in Plain Jane. I was like, okay, but we were really dominant at it. We kind of had things down pat. I said, okay, no, I need choices. I need dilemmas. I need indecision. I need to get so I will never play the base version of it again. I'm just going to start mixing in expansion after expansion. I love even the new expansion they came up with. Would they do more? I don't know, but what are we at? 17 little expansions for this game? Let's make it 25. I really think that they can't do any wrong here because every one of them, or most of them, I really, really, really enjoy. And I think they're just all so much fun. So I'm always going to be including them from now on out. They came out with like a designer's edition or a mega deluxe or mega box for it. Buy the mega box. Go ahead, drop the dime on it. It's worth it. It is my favorite Queen game in my collection. Excellent game. Fresco. Fresco is a drink. Am I thirsty? Anyway, here we go. Number 5. This game, let me make sure before I say it, it's always been for the past 5 years. It's been a top 10 game. At the highest, it was 3. The lowest, it was 8. So here it is. Ultimate Railroads now. It's called Russian Railroads before then, but now Ultimate Railroads. I have played each one of the expansions countless times now. Countless times. I want to say 4 each. What's that, 16 games of this? There may be more games. I don't know. I can't remember. Oh, no, there have been, because I played games with just all the promos together too. So, oh my gosh, it's probably in the 20s now. But me and my buddy played this. I remember he came over. It was just me and him, two-player. And so I brought out Ultimate Railroads. We didn't play a single other game that night. We just played all the expansions there. We had so much fun. We did it again the next night. And I keep bringing this out. Do you need, what if you have Russian Railroads? Do I need Ultimate? Yes. What is my favorite railroad? Now that's hard. That's really hard. I'm going to still say American Railroads is still fun. But I will be honest, Oriental has been growing on me. And I didn't think it was going to be that good. But Oriental is probably close second, followed by Russian Railroads, the original, which is close third, followed by German Railroads, which, to be honest, is close fourth. There's not one I would not say, man, I don't want to play that one. We have had so much fun with these. As you're building up your train, unlocking certain abilities, powers, trying to tight worker placement game. Oh, I mean, the list goes on about how awesome this is. I did get rid of my regular copies of Russian, German, and American Railroads. I did get rid of those just recently. Just trade them off because I didn't need them. Because now that I have Ultimate Railroads is the one you need. I mean, you can get Russian and German and American Railroads, I think, for cheap now. Oriental only came with the box here, but I think you should drop the big money on all of these top 10 games. You should drop the big money and definitely get Ultimate Railroads. I have just been enjoying it countless times over the years. So that's to say about all these when we get to the top 5. Okay, these next 4 are going to be very familiar because these have always been in my top 10. In fact, this next one has not only been a top 10, but every year but 2. Every year, and that was the previous 2 years. It's always been a top 10 game, but for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. For 8 years, 2 of those years, it was in the top 10. The other 6 years, it's been in the top 5 game. So pick up and deliver game, Firefly. I love Firefly. They just came out with the big box. By the time this comes out, supposedly I'll have it in my hands. You better believe I'm going to play the mess out of it. I just have upgraded bits, another pack of promo cards, which I already have, but I'm glad I'm going to have 2 of these very rare promo cards now. And then the other thing, it has some kind of mini expansion to it. I don't know what to think about it, but it doesn't matter. I love this game. I absolutely adore this guy. I can't wait to put it on a big box. My dream, which hasn't come true yet, is to play 9 players. I had a game night set up for 7, and 3 people didn't show up, and it pissed me off. So we had to play with 4. But I really wanted to play 7 or 9. 9 is my dream. I want 9 players around the board. This is kind of a table hog too. It is pick up and deliver, and then upgrading your. There's different strategy. There's different methods to win the game. Different types of games you play. We play the game where you hit X amount of money, but there's another game you have to do contracts with everyone across the board. If you're playing both expansions, that would be a big one. To complete a contract by everyone. But the way we play is the certain amount of money to win, and it's so much fun. A game that I only win half the time too, or no, less than half the time, really. I don't win this game that much because I'm always interested in spending the money on upgrades. I spend all my money, and by the time I have everything, I'm unstoppable. I can do any job, like Niska jobs, which are the hardest ones. I can do those easily, and then someone wins. Every time, that's usually how the game ends. Although I did win. I have won twice this year, which usually I never win, but I think I've gotten 2 wins. I know I've gotten 1 for sure. We'll say 1 for sure. But I love playing this game, and hopefully around the holiday season, when the big box edition comes in and all the goodies come back in, I'll definitely be playing this game again. What am I talking about? It's a top 5 game. Of course, it's always coming to the table. It's the first thing I want to play. And like I said, I got this game a long time ago, and it has stood the test of time. So well done, Gale Force 9. Gale Force 9, I'm not done with you yet because you have one other game that's so good. It's been in my collection for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 years. 8 years too. All of those 8 years. All of them. It's been a top 5 game. In fact, all but 1 year, which was 2 years ago, it was a top 3 game. That's how good it is. Folks, you know what I'm about to say. I am Spartacus. Oh, Spartacus is so good. So good. Such a great game. They reprinted it. I don't like the artwork, but you can get the base game if you want a copy of it. But I have the old TV version. If you've never seen the TV version, it does not matter. You do not have to watch the TV show. Is great, by the way, but don't watch it with kids or your wife. Probably not in public either. But anyway, besides that, don't have to watch the TV show. The game is brilliant. It starts off where you're playing cards either to help you out or to screw other players. You have to have a certain prestige to play a card, but you can team up with another house and combine your prestige number to play the card and attack some other house. There's ways to ward off an attack with guards, but guards can be precious because they can be turned in for money or other bonuses in the game. So you don't want to use them, but sometimes you got to avoid off a conspiracy against you. After that awesome round, then it goes to the next phase where you're doing some blind bidding for like slaves, which give you more money, gladiators, which hopefully give you glory and prestige in the arena, and then thirdly, gear, because even the weakest gladiator can be a champion if you give him the right armor, weaponry, and special ability. You can arm him with one of each. And if you do, you've got a very, even though it's the weakest gladiator, I've seen starting gladiators are usually the lowest numbers, but I saw someone just soup up their starting gladiator and he was a champion and remained a champion the entire game. After that, then someone votes to who's going to be the host. They get a victory point, which is very important because 12 wins the game. And then, or depending on how far you want to play, we play all the way to 12. But and then after that, the battle begins. And even if you're not chosen to go into the battle, because the host invites people, and maybe the host plays his own gladiator too, then you place bets. And how you can win money is by people defeating other people or beheading them or injuring them. And so then you're just betting and you're cheering. You are engaged. Even though you're not in the battle, you are engaged in watching the fight go back and forth as they're rolling dice back and forth. And it's an incredible experience. It's an incredible experience. I cannot tell you how much. I played a 6-player game of this. I was in heaven. I won a 7-player. 7 players the max you can play. And just like I won a 9-player Firefly, I won a 7-player Spartacus. I will choose the house that's left over that no one else wants. I don't care what house I get. There are a few houses I do love playing with more than others. But if it was 7 players, I would just play with any house. In one of our games, because I have such a big, thick stack of cards and I shuffle it all the time, the same cards never come out. But finally, what's his name? Vculture came out. And I bet all my money. And people made fun of me. And then Vculture dominated. Vculture is so great. All of these, there are certain characters that everyone loves. My nephew pitches a fit if I don't give him the starting card of the slave with one arm, because he puts him into battle as a joke. Because once, he made the slave a champion, which was really funny. But because that usually doesn't happen. Slaves are super weak. They're the beyond weak in battle. But sometimes you have to put a slave in there for whatever reason. There's so, and then by the way, those cards I was telling you about, you can scheme during the auction phase. You can scheme you can screw people over during the fighting, during the gladiator stage. And each house has their own special ability. I'm over the moon over this game. It's so great. Unfortunately, one of the expansions to this game is like super rare. So I think the game's oddly gone up in value over the years. But if you can find this game, I even have the House of Batiatus promo cards, which I got them back when they were for sale in the store. But Gale Force 9, please get the. I know it's a dead IP. No one knows about the Spartacus show anymore. But please get it back and make expansions. I'll take anything at this point. I want to see more. I wish they just make. I was looking for the new game to put like in lions or something like that and bears because they fought animals too. But they didn't do anything like that. But basically, it's the same as the base game. But either way, Gale Force 9 has 2 back-to-back home runs in my book, and well done for them, folks. Number two has been in my collection for 6 years. And all but the very first year, it's been in the top 10 every year except for the first year. It was number 11. And I said, wow, a new game got to number 11. That's really rare. This is Santa's Workshop. Santa's Workshop, as of this video, I don't have it. Now, I'm told that I'll get it before Christmas. I'm highly doubtful I'll get it before Christmas. There's a new version coming out. Everyone should get. Elf Creek Games, they screwed the pooch, man. They should have had this game. They announced this 2 years ago. They should have had it out. They didn't have it out last Christmas, which is fine. But they should have had this game out by November. They did not. Production issues, I understand, but you had 2 years, dude. You had 2 years. But I know they're going through some struggles right now. I've heard some troubling things about them. But I don't care. I don't care about them. All I care is that they reprinted one of my favorite games of all time, and I pre-ordered it. I pre-ordered the moment it came out for pre-order. It came out I think July to pre-order. Pre-ordered it, man. I'm going to get that. It looks beautiful. I hope I'm playing it at this time of this video. They said they might be able to get it out before Christmas. But listen to me. Buy the game. Even if you got to get an old version of the game. I've made 3 fan expansions for the base game just because I love it so much. I love it so much. I won't be doing that for the new version when it comes out. I'll just be enjoying the new version as is. But Santa's Workshop, I'm not the Christmas guy. I love Christmas. Who doesn't love Christmas? Christmas is coming up soon. It's so this video is probably days away, but I'll play this game in July. I'll play this game in February. I'll play this game in September. My wife knows this because I don't allow Christmas music. I'm a Grinch. I don't allow Christmas music until after Thanksgiving. So in November, when my wife really wants to listen to Christmas music, she'll go, "Hey, you want to play a game? Let's play Santa's Workshop." I know what she's doing because I'll listen to Christmas music because it's thematic when I play Santa's Workshop. So that's how she gets away with listening to Christmas music. But once the game's over, I tell my Echo to shut up. Bah humbug for me for Christmas. But Santa's Workshop, I mean, it's just a solid worker placement game. And all the workers you can educate them in the classroom to be better at certain traits. I love that too. I don't know what the new version has with it, but I'm sure it's going to be great. The artwork looks great. And I can't wait. I've been supporting it for 2 years. I'm all happy that they've made a reprint of it. I just really, because this is what happened. Rio Grande Games released it like days before Christmas too. And it just didn't, it missed its time. So I'm it's just so upsetting when another publisher does the same exact thing. And they can make up whatever thing that happened. I believe they had production issues, but dude, you announced this January 14th of, 2022. I shouldn't get on to it, but I hear things are bad with the company. So I was told that things are not so shiny with the company. So, oh, well, it just sucks that people are I'm just mad because people are going to probably pass up and not get this game because it came out after Christmas. And it's sad because they don't know what they're missing. Santa's Workshop is phenomenal. But folks, this, it's not going to be the number 1 game that, let me go ahead. Everyone's just go ahead and streaming it right now. It's Twilight Imperium. If you know me, it's Twilight Imperium. 2 years ago, we played it last year we played it 9 times. No, 10 times, 10 or 11 times, I think. Yeah, that's right, because we were one short of 12 times, almost once a month. This time I've only played it 4. Well, by the time this video comes out, I'll probably play it 5 or 6 times. And it's my favorite game. I mean, it's the 4X game. It's been number 1 or 2 every year on the list here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 years. 8 years. It's been number 2 the first 3 years, and then number 1 ever since. That's because I took out my lovely Stratomatic baseball into my vintage list. But Twilight Imperium is the end-all game to be all. I hope they come out with expansions. I really think it was disappointing that the 25th anniversary, they didn't do anything special. Roll and Write, I didn't get that. But maybe they'll come out with some other codex. I got all the codexes professionally printed. We played with those. Those are great. I love 8-player games of this. Everyone's like, "Ooh, 8 players." No, it's fine. It doesn't take that long. Because we played it for so long, we know what it is now. And the secret is you got to play toward your alien strength. And if you play toward your alien strength, you will win. I've only lost this game once, and that was because I did not play toward my alien strength. But will I lose? Eventually. Yes, I've come close very much last year. And even this year, there's a few close calls. But last year, especially, some close calls. But I'll be happy to cede my undefeated crown over to whoever gets the final win on me because I love this game regardless of whether I win it or not. All right, folks, that is it. That is my top 100 board games of all time. Hey, if you've been commenting, thank you so much. Keep the comments coming, and I will see you next year with another top 100. Maybe.